Come ready and see me no matter how late. Come before the years run out. I'm waiting with a candle. No wind will blow, but you must haste by far my sky, for no one can live forever under the bluest sky. I can't wait forever, for the years are running out. I'm waiting with a candle. No wind will blow, but you must haste on foot or by sky, for no one can live forever under the bluest sky. I can't wait forever, for the years are running out. We can't wait forever, for the years are running Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5th episode of Cooking with Denyce, where we are honoring the great Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That song was called Come Ready and See Me by Richard Hundley. The next and final song is composed by a very, very dear friend of mine, John Conahan, and it's called Sunset. I saw the day lean o'er the world's sharp edge, and peer into night's chasm dark and dark. High in her hand she held a blazing lamp, then dropped it and fell headlong down the ledge. I saw the dim sky suddenly flash bright. 'Twas but the expiring glory of her light. 'Twas but the expiring glory of her light. 'Twas but the expiring glory of her light. Flung from the hand of the adventurous day. One who embodies the Creator's primal conception of a human being is called a tzaddik, a person of great righteousness. We are all mourning the crushing loss of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a monumental and historic figure who championed women's rights and the leader of the liberal wing. In addition to her amazing service on the Supreme Court, she was an enthusiastic operatic lover who attended performances at Washington National Opera, the Metropolitan Opera, Santa Fe, to name just a few. She also, from time to time, was a super in many productions. She was a formidable force and was deeply admired by so many. I learned that New York City will honor Justice Ginsburg with a statue in Brooklyn, where she grew up. As surprising and as unlikely as it seems to me, she and I became good friends for more than 2 decades. She extended herself to everyone in my family. When my husband was ill, she kept in close contact and would often send us video messages. This loss at this time hurts, but it is heartening to see the very moving memorials at the Supreme Court where crowds have gathered and visited to honor her. She was loved deeply. On Friday, just before sundown, the first of the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, the second woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, transitioned. I'm told that it is a holy event to die on a high holidays, and thus it was a sacred end to an astounding and unforgettable human existence. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a history-making feminist, an icon and national treasure who spent a great deal of her own career as an advocate for women's rights and gender equality. She was tiny and demure and soft-spoken, but she was a colossal powerhouse of a woman. I love that we address her, rightfully so, as Justice Ginsburg, because she moved the country closer to fairness, equality, and morality. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became a celebrity and rose to pop culture. And people like her are who you want to see rise to pop culture. And she was given the rap nickname, the Notorious RBG. She was a great leader who fought with her last breath for so many and changed the way that America is for women, for minorities, and for the LGBTQ communities. This is our 5th episode, which we had originally titled Encore Masterclass. But since the passing of Justice Ginsburg, we're titling this episode Strong Kick Butt Women. We will sprinkle our broadcast with memories of Justice Ginsburg, her extraordinary purposed life and service, and let her work inspire us to release our own inner RBG. As we feature strong, powerful women here on Cooking with Denyce in our kitchens, the heart of our homes. The first woman, Christianne Ricchi, who for the past 31 years has been the owner and chef of the Italian establishment Ristorante Ricchi. Ristorante Ricchi has earned many accolades and awards and has been called the hottest restaurant in Washington, D.C., and one of the best Italian restaurants in the world. A restaurant that delivers exactly what one expects from an Italian dining experience: the comfort, the authenticity, and the great quality food. And today, she's in my kitchen for a master class with twists on classic Italian dishes. Chef Christianne Ricchi. Chef Christianne.
Oh,
thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy. First of all, I'm out of Washington and I'm in beautiful countryside on a beautiful day. I'm so happy to be here.
So what you have to know is that Chef Chris is in my kitchen, but the first time we worked together, I was in her kitchen. We did an event some years ago, I think it was 2018.
Yeah,
we did a fundraiser in her restaurant for the Ronald McDonald House. And I came with some of my students from the Peabody Conservatory and we entertained. And actually I got my hands in, up
to here in flour.
And we had my fried chicken recipe and we prepared it. We had the restaurant prepare it and I served it.
You did well, yeah, to every table.
To every table.
Everybody wanted a piece of the chicken and a piece of you.
It was so much fun. So that's why we were originally calling this masterclass Encore, because here we visit each other again.
Yes, and I'm so pleased.
Me too.
I'm happy to bring to you a recipe that has been a favorite of mine, can I say, for the last almost 50 years.
Wow.
This is one of the first things I tasted when I went to Tuscany in the early 70s. And it was extraordinary to me then. And I think people still today would find it very enticing, very different. One of those things you can prepare on Sunday and eat for the whole week.
Perfect. That's perfect for a family.
Yeah.
And so how has your restaurant been doing since everything with COVID?
It's been so I've been at this, as I said, almost 50 years. 30.
You look great.
Yeah, right. I shouldn't have said that.
You do.
31 years of which are here in DC, and we, as you can imagine, our business is not an easy business. But going through what we're going through now is, I tend to be a very optimistic person, but it's really difficult. It's so many. My heart is bleeding for my colleagues in our restaurant industry, because millions and millions of people are losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods, something that they've worked their whole lives for. So it's been very trying. We are, thank God, still open after 27 weeks.
Excellent.
But I'm having to be extremely creative in order to keep people interested, because we're downtown. We've got to bring people to us.
Yeah.
So what we've done, and actually it was an idea of my daughter's. She came to me right before all of this started, and she said, "Mom, if you don't do something, they're going to close you down and you're going to lose everything." So we decided, one of the things, obviously, what we do is serve good food, but it's also about the experience. That's what an Italian restaurant is about. It's about the experience. So we wanted to try and replicate that experience at home. So we developed something called the Ricchi Food Club, where I curate one menu a week. People can sign up. They come to the curb. We deliver it with the menu and a story and a candle. And we encourage people to go home, take it out of the plastic, put it on a nice plate. We also pair some wines with it, so you can pour yourself a glass of wine, light the candle, and enjoy.
That's beautiful.
And that actually has been what's kept us alive for the past, it's been 27 weeks, 27 menus, 27 stories.
That's a lot of work.
And yes.
That's a lot of work.
And I'm going to keep going.
Absolutely.
Keep going. I've got a lot of stories.
Everybody has to call. You're going to have to get and sign up for the food club. I'm going to join. So is it like a meal kit?
Oh, no. It's completely done.
Oh, it's completely done.
done.
So it's not like Blue Apron or some of these places where you've got to prepare it.
No, at the very least, you might have to warm it up a little. But what we try to do is prep it to order. So we know when people are coming to pick it up. So it's hot, hot, hot. And they can just run home and open it up.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
We've been having a good time. And it's given me an opportunity to really get to know my customers.
I bet.
The people who are doing this for 27 weeks. We've created this wonderful bond. I know their children, I know their dogs, I know what kind of car they drive. It's been a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful. So grateful.
I am too, and I'm excited to see what we're going to be preparing today. But that day that we were in your restaurant, for the fundraiser, we were there with some of my students. And since we are all releasing our inner RBG today and incorporating strong, smart women in today's broadcast, there's another beautifully gifted, strong woman whom I'm very proud of. She's a voice student of mine, Symone Harcum. Symone is currently participating in the Young Artist Program with Virginia Opera, and she joins us today from her location in Norfolk, and she will be cooking with us today. So, Symone Harcum.
Che
sang that aria. You,
Oh my
you
goodness.
sang that aria, Symone.
Amazing.
Symone, yes.
Thanks so much.
They told me that. What, honey?
I said thanks so much.
Yeah, you did
Amazing.
great, honey. It was beautiful. We were loving it over here. Everybody was rocking out.
Yes.
All right, Miss Lady. So
All
are you
right.
ready to get cooking?
I'm ready. I'm like.
All right, so
I'm in
so
it.
Chef Chris is going to tell us what we're doing here.
You're like me, Symone. I never wear an apron in the kitchen.
No, I don't have one. Where am
Or I
gonna put
tend
it?
to grab it after, I've potted myself. But.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So what
All right.
we're doing today is an old traditional Tuscan recipe called Ribollita. Ribollita. Ribollire in Italian means to reboil. And I couldn't help thinking when you were talking earlier about how I learned to cook. My story quickly is that I went to Italy to study painting. And while I was there, I met the Ricchi family, and I met the women in the kitchen. And for the next 17 years, it was these women in the kitchen that taught me to cook.
Right.
Wow.
And this is a recipe. Ribollita is an old Tuscan recipe that, and Tuscan food, by the way, is not fancy food. It's cucina rustica, they call it.
Uh-huh.
This is a soup that the women in the country, the farm women, would make with whatever was left over, maybe the tops of the carrots or the butt end of the prosciutto or the crusts of the Parmesan cheese. They would have a pot in the back of the stove, and whenever they would have these things, they just throw it in the back of the pot, and it would just kind of be there and simmer. Tuscan bread does not have any salt in it, so it doesn't last very long. It gets stale very quickly. So they would take whatever was left over of the stale bread and they'd throw that in the pot as well and just mix it up and reboil it. And so
Awesome.
this is our take on Ribollita. Okay?
All right, very good.
It's really easy. I've given you a recipe, but you don't really have to follow it exactly. You can use whatever you want
She tells you. Huh?
Yeah,
Exactly. I've been like on my phone, like, which is this? What's what?
Right. So if you can't find Tuscan kale, or if you can't find leeks, do without it and put something else in. So it's really not. Just kind of get a feel for it. That's the way we cooked in Italy. You get a feel for it. I never learned from recipes. So just enjoy yourself. So in the meantime, we've got our pot on the stove. I've put in a little bit of olive oil, and first, to flavor the oil, you're going to put in your. You want to do that for me?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. The onions and the leeks.
All righty.
And then, nice and hot.
Happening.
That's good thing you have your apron on.
That's right.
Okay. And here
All right.
are our leeks.
Okay.
Woo! There you go. Beautiful.
Oh.
That's music to my ears.
That's right. And the smell is
Yeah.
divine.
Okay. And then we've got our garlic. So we let the oil get full of that flavor. Basically, what you're going to do now is add vegetables. The vegetables that take the longest to cook, you put in first. So that would be our celery and carrots. So at this point, you put in your celery.
There we go.
And your carrots.
Awesome.
And you're going to let those, you don't want anything to really brown.
Okay.
So
That's gorgeous.
are you there?
That's the look.
Are you there with us, Symone? Okay,
I'm
cool.
here.
All right.
All here.
So
I don't know if everybody can see that. I'll bring that over to the camera. Careful, chef.
Yeah.
There's that. Just the color of it is so gorgeous. It's just beautiful looking. You see that? And the smell is divine.
yeah. So that's going to stay. That's going to stay on the stove probably for about 10 minutes until you start seeing them The onions soften and the celery soften. Okay?
Okay.
At that point now, you're going to add your other vegetables
Mhm.
and your tomato paste.
Okay.
So also the tomato, I put 2 tablespoons, but if you wanted a little redder, a little more tomatoey, you could add a little more.
Okay.
But what we want to do is dissolve the tomato paste in the oil with the vegetables at this point.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just take about maybe half of that. That's plenty, yeah. Okay, and we're just going to kind of melt the tomato paste.
How you coming along, Symone?
It's coming. It smells really good.
Well, that's a good start.
I know, right?
See, this is where you would add your Denyce's Opera Blend seasoning.
Yes,
This is the moment.
absolutely. And really this is, it's one of those recipes, even in Tuscany, where every family has their recipe, their own
Right.
recipe. And of course, they think their recipe is the best.
Right. That looks beautiful.
Okay, so very good. At
Okay.
this point, we let we dissolve the tomato paste. At this point, we're going to add, and again, about 2 cups of water. But if you want to add chicken stock or vegetable stock, you can do it. Just makes the flavor a little bit deeper. It's even better. So we're going to add our water. All right.
That's gonna slow that process down. Symone, I know that we're making 2 things today, so I'm just wondering, in the interest of time, to just get your cake in the oven.
My cake is in the oven.
Oh, good girl.
Now, very good.
Okay, so we've added the water, and now we're going to put in the vegetables that don't take quite as long. So we're going to add our zucchini and our potatoes.
Okay.
I don't even know if we're going to add all of that. Well, why not? You got a lot of people to
I've got a
feed
lot
here,
of people
right?
here, and if this is something that you can just keep enjoying all week
Oh,
long.
absolutely.
I like that with
Yeah.
the kids, because the kids are always coming downstairs saying there's nothing to eat, there's nothing to eat.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Oh, no, this is, and you know what? You can eat, the Tuscans even eat this cold, believe it or not. So this, obviously,
really?
it's really nice, kind of sticks to your bones in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But in our trattoria outside of Florence, on more than one occasion, the Tuscans will come, they'll have a 4-course dinner, and then they'll ask for more ribollita at the end of their meal.
Really?
Oh yeah, they love this. They love this.
Goodness.
So one of the things that really gives the soup its characteristic flavor is kale. Kale and cabbage and beans, actually. In Italy, we use black Tuscan kale. It's called cavolo nero, and that gives it a really great deep flavor.
Perfect.
It's not easy to find here. So if you can't find it, then you just regular old kale. So we're adding kale, cabbage, and Swiss chard. And as you know, or if you don't be concerned if it looks like there's just a whole big pot of cabbage, because it will cook down. Okay.
And it's
I was concerned.
dark leafy greens are what you want. And the singers do that to stay healthy, right? And as we're about to change seasons and get into a new season, that's awesome.
So
Where are you in the process now, Symone?
I just put
Are you ahead of us?
in. The
All
last
right.
thing, the kale was the last thing I put in. It's in.
Yeah.
'Cause I
okay,
forgot
and
it.
the cabbage. And now you're gonna need a little patience, because it's gonna need some time to cook down. But in the meantime, we're going to take our cannellini beans. In the recipe that I gave you, it says to cook your own beans the night before, which we do, but nobody's going to say anything to you if you want to open a couple of cans of cannellini beans. That's fine too.
Those are my favorite beans. I love them.
Okay, so here we
So
have
hearty.
our cannellini beans with the water that they were cooked in. So we don't want to throw this water out. If it looks like we need more liquid,
I think
we'll
so.
just, I think so too. We'll just add the bean liquid. So what we're going to do is take about 1/3 of the beans that we're going to use, and we're going to put them in the blender to get, so that this will add kind of substance and a creamy consistency to the soup. So we're going to go right back here, and Denyce, this is yours, so I'm going to let you.
Okay.
I have, of course, I have a spoon with with holes in it, right? Okay, here. So if you just want to go ahead, just enough, yeah, and just cover it here.
Okay, great.
And then we can put that in the soup.
All right, very good. Where are you, Symone? This is getting ready to go on, so it's going to be a bit noisy.
I'm doing the beans.
Okay.
We'll do it at the same time. So
All right.
1, 2, here we go. Put some of that liquid in there. Yeah, here. We'll put some of this.
How creamy should they be? Like, how blended should they be?
Pretty blended. You want it like a cream.
Okay.
And just add some of your water from the beans, or even just regular water or stock if you'd like.
Okay.
All going in the same pot. Okay, that looks perfect.
Beautiful.
Now we're just going to pour that in the pot, and we're going to add our other beans.
Do you see that consistency, Symone? I mean, you just blend it until it's nice and integrated.
Yeah.
It's nice and smooth. It kind of looks like a smoothie or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Does that look beautiful? Wonderful.
Now is the time, once you mix it all together, now is the time to add your spices. I always, whenever I'm cooking, especially a soup, I taste it twice. I'll add a little salt and pepper now, and then right before or towards the end, I'll taste it again, and you adjust it. Okay. What did I do? I put them over here. I like to add, and you don't have to, this is optional, a little bit of hot pepper.
Me too.
A little bit of hot pepper.
Bring on that heat.
Just a little bit. And then you could stop here, but we like to put in, there's a spice that we use in Tuscany called 5 spezie, which means 5 spices.
Yeah.
So the closest thing I've found here is allspice, but you could do a little bit of allspice, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, just a little bit to give it some interest. Okay, we add that now. All right.
Delicious.
And there you go.
And you
now,
just leave that?
Now you just put that in the back of your stove, and you put it on low, and you cook it for an hour or so, or really until the vegetables aren't crunchy any longer.
That is gorgeous.
It's so easy. Okay,
Gorgeous.
so that is what we call minestrone. Now comes the fun part. Now we're going to actually make the ribollita. So the way we do it in the restaurant is we take a pot like this. Let's see. In the meantime, and you know what? I might have you slice some more bread because I think we're going to
layer it.
So we're going to layer the soup with bread and Parmesan cheese. Now the bread for this is bread we bake ourselves. This is a Tuscan loaf. Basically, what you want is a really crusty bread. You don't want anything too soft because it'll get gummy. Okay,
right.
So let's move, and I don't want to.
How much do you think you need?
Well, I have a little bit here. It's really just to kind of give you the idea. We're going to put the. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we can put the pot that's in the back of the stove now.
Okay.
One thing I forgot to mention if you ever buy wedges of Parmesan cheese, don't throw away the crust, we call it la crosta. This is something that we would fight over when we would make this soup at home. This goes in the soup as well. It of course flavors the soup, but it never completely dissolves. It gets kind of rubbery and chewy. Oh, it's so good.
Just like the whole piece goes in?
Yeah, just the whole thing. And it's just, I mean, you could put a piece like this in.
Oh, all right.
And just throw it in the pot. So
Do you
people,
have anything like that over there, Symone?
You know, I've seen in supermarkets, some supermarkets actually sell those, the Parmesan rind.
It really happens.
You found it?
Yes, because I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So see, the thing with Tuscan cooking is we throw nothing away. So we use stale bread. We use the outside of the Parmesan cheese. So, okay, now we're very well organized here. So while this is cooking, I've made a batch so that I can show you how to put it together. So let's see, where do we have? We have our pot here.
Yes.
Okay. And while you're doing that, it's going to look, while you're making the soup, it's going to look like there's not enough water, but
Right.
Just be patient. Let everything kind of settle down. And then if you want to make it a little more liquidy, then just go ahead and add some more water, okay? So here we have our ribollita, or our minestrone. And you're going to take it and you're going to ladle it. And basically, it's the same concept as lasagna. So you're going to ladle it about an inch thick, and then you're going to take your actually Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle your Parmesan cheese over it like that. Then you're going to layer your slices of bread on top, and maybe shall we bring that over to the camera, and so that people can get an idea of what that looks like?
Yeah, that's really terrific.
So that just kind of gives you an idea.
So you have to know that, let me see, can you see that? Can you see that? You've got the stew part on the bottom, and then on the top of that is the layer of the Parmesan cheese. And then on top of that is the Tuscan crunchy bread. And then you keep layering that, just like a lasagna, just like we did with Laura in Lasagna Showdown.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so here we go with our next layer of the soup.
What a great idea. My goodness, is that yummy.
It's almost,
I've
heard people call this a vegetable stew.
Yeah.
So
It's
again,
very, very hearty.
so Parmesan cheese, more bread.
This soup is everything. Thank you for teaching and sharing this recipe today. That comes from Anne. I can't see all that. Finkelstein, I think she's been here before. Thank you, Anne. Thanks so much. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for your support. It's delicious.
Okay, so there we go. And you know, depending on your container, it could be 3, 4, 5 layers. There are no rules. You can do whatever you want.
Looks great.
So at the restaurant,
Wish I could smell it online.
Yeah,
That's from Daniel Rice.
In the restaurant, we make a big pot of it, and as we need it, we just scoop it out and heat it up that way. We reboil it on the stove.
Yeah.
But there are also Tuscan women that like to take this and bake it in the oven. So we happen to have that. But you know what? We're going to need somebody really strong. I can't. It's pretty heavy.
Oh, I'm very strong.
You are? Okay. Then go right ahead and.
Oh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Wait, you've got to see this. Oh, that's just.
Don't trip on the dog.
I know. She always gets in the most inconvenient places. Let me see. Can you see that? Can you see that, Symone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Is that
Jeez. I don't know if mine looks like that.
all right? Well, You know, Chris, this is from her family and from her. They've been doing this for years, you know.
Oh,
It's a little different. You can call it
Yours
something.
looks different, huh?
from grandmother to mother to daughter. And now I think you and I need to taste this.
We
is what
definitely do, and I need to maybe call in. Even though today is a show celebrating about women, we need to call in some of the team here. Do you have a ladle?
Yes,
Or, you
right
want to
here.
use that one? Yeah.
Or you know what? Just a big spoon is fine.
Or do you
That metal. Yeah, that's
this
fine.
one? Even though it has
That's.
blood.
Oh well, it's not. It's gonna be. It's nice and thick. So you see,
All right. Oh, we'll
it's
call
thick.
in
You
Max.
can eat this with a fork.
Max loves everything. Oh, and Ella too.
Oh.
Look who's with us today.
Okay, and
I
now.
would put some cheese on the top of
No,
that.
well, actually, what you need to do is
Oh.
where's that really good olive oil that you have?
Yes.
You pour a
Put
little
that
bit
on
on
the
top.
You want this one?
Now she
You want-
said, yeah, that's
I
whatever
get,
is extrovert. This is where you use your good. Oh
Is
yes.
that enough?
Well, not for me.
Ah!
Okay, there you go.
See, I would hit that with a little hot sauce too. That's what I would
Well,
do.
there you go.
But it's
Of course,
already in
there are
there.
no rules.
All right.
All right.
I'll just have some of that.
Okay.
Where's Dad? Is he around? We got to get going on the cake too.
Yeah.
You
So,
want to try some of this
No,
one?
I'm gonna finish it. I want to just.
Oh, that's.
and like I said,
oh
you
my
can eat
gosh.
this at room temperature. You can eat it cold. It's just vegetables and cheese and.
Oh wow. Ah, thank gosh. Here, take this. It must smell good. They can't wait to eat it. That's from Celeste. Okay, very good. Yummy. All right, there you go, honey.
So I didn't have the knuckle or the end of the prosciutto,
yeah.
but you could put a ham hock in there, or
Ooh, yeah, sure. I
or
would
if
do
you
that.
wanted to fry up a little pancetta or bacon, you could throw it in there,
Sure.
or you could keep it this way and it will be completely vegetarian.
Thumbs up. We get
Oh,
thumbs
good.
up all around.
All right, wait till you.
Since today is the day we've been speaking about powerful women, we have a message from one of the industry's great powerful women who has a message for us today.
Hi, Denyce. Congratulations on your new cooking show. I am so looking forward to the culinary delights and treats that you and your wonderful guests will be imparting to us. I'm always up for a few secrets and a tasty meal. So again, congratulations and the best of luck to you.
What's love got to do with it? There is just no, I'm gonna have to do this because
Please.
I gotta get all the way into this. I'm gonna put a little cheese on the top.
Yes, you can do whatever you want.
And since today we're celebrating really strong women, we have a message from a younger generation. Also, too, we've got a couple of generations in the kitchen today. Me and Chris, we've got Symone, with me and Chris and Angela. Then we've got Symone as another generation, and then we have a message from an even younger generation.
I guess I'm going to talk about Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg for just a little bit and my experience with her and what that was like and everything. So when I was in the 5th grade, my whole class went to go see her at the Supreme Court and got to sit in her chambers and have lunch with her and ask her questions, which was just such a fun experience and so crazy to do when you're like 10 years old. And then maybe, I don't know if it was later that year or like a year later or something, I went to go see Champion. And it was an opportunity for me to just sit next to her. And she was just so sweet and she was so interested in what I had to say. And a few days later, she sent me this stuff in the mail. She sent me this coloring book, which I have not actually colored in, only because, it just seems too precious to color in. And a fun little, note that they put in is that she can't cook, like at all. I have to find the page. It says, RBG's such a bad cook. And then there's a picture, which is just a cute little thing considering this is a cooking show. And then she also sent me a copy of the Constitution that was signed. Both of these are signed, by the way. And I mean, that's just such a gift to be able to have, especially when I don't think I really understood the magnitude of what that was at that age. So yeah, I mean, we've lost a great legend, and I mean, we just need to stay on the path that she's paved for so many different people, for so many minority groups, and just create more change in the same vein as what she wanted to do, what she committed her whole life to. So yeah.
Yay, Ella. All right, Chef Chris, so what would you have with this? What would accompany this party dish?
You mean vino?
Vino.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah, did you want me to go and talk about this vino right now? Okay,
Sure.
great. And then
I'll have some of that with what I'm
you know
having
what? I've been standing here looking at that bottle thinking, oh man, would I love to sip right now. So the wine that I've chosen to pair with the Ribollita is a Tuscan wine. This is very special, and I think Robert's going to like it. Robert, would you like to have this? Come on. So this is Marchese Antinori. This is from Tenuta Tignanello. There we go. This is from Tenuta Tignanello, and for those of you who know even a little bit about Italian wine, you know that Tignanello is one of the best Italian wines today. So this is from the same vineyard as the Tignanello. We call it actually a baby Tignanello. It's a Chianti Classico, and it's made with primarily Sangiovese with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh.
All right. The Antinori family has been in the wine business since the 14th century.
Oh.
And right now, by the way, it's being run by 3 sisters, by 3 women.
Is that right?
That's correct.
I love that.
This is an extraordinary wine at a fraction of what Tignanello would cost.
And you know what, Chef Chris? Today is very special because today is the 2nd anniversary of Robert's new heart when he had his heart transplant 2 years ago.
Wow.
So, and he's doing great. And so we definitely want to toast to your health and your life and your continued success and all the beautiful things that you're doing and all the ways that you're shaking up and changing the medical field. I'm just enormously proud of you. I had the great pleasure of living with him, but I'm very, very, very impressed with him all the time. I wasn't there in the very beginning when he was going to medical school. I sort of came on the scene a little bit later. And I hear a lot about his life then, those early years. But I've had the great privilege to watch from the sideline the level of his dedication and how much he cares about his patients and how much he cares about the field and just all of the incredible advances that they've been making. And he, as most of you know who are in the audience who know us, know that he himself is a miracle. He is a miracle. And every day, I give thanks for him and that he's doing so well. And I just love you. And congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations, sweetheart.
And vino also, red wine's good for you, right?
Good for your heart. That's what they say. Very good. So, Chef Chris, we've got something else going on here, right?
Okay. So the next thing, this is typical of a dessert that you would find, again, a very rustic dessert in the countryside, whether it's in Tuscany or more up to the north in Veneto. This is a dessert that we are featuring in our Ricchi Food Club menu this week when we talk about Verona. So we talk about the amphitheater in Verona, and we talk
times in the casa of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, and everybody comes to see the balcony where supposedly Juliet stood.
That's right.
But we're not going to. People seem to forget that it's a fictional story, but that's okay. Whatever brings them there is fine. But they might go there for the balcony of Juliet. But once they get there, they realize there's a lot more to the city of Verona and the region of Veneto. So this is a dessert that's typical from Verona, and this is a dessert that I learned from another woman who owns a winery. The probably the most well-known winery in Veneto called Allegrini. So Marilisa Allegrini came to the restaurant, and we did a wine dinner with her, and this is her recipe.
Oh,
So this is very typical. So what you want to do, Symone, you just, like with any dessert,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like with any dessert, you've got your oven on at 350, so that's warming. And then you flour a pan, and in the directions it just says a pan, because you'll see it really doesn't matter how big the pan is. The larger the pan, the thinner the cake. So it's going to be kind of crunchy and crumbly, okay? So it's very easy. You don't need a mixer. You don't need anything. You need 2 bowls. One bowl, you're going to have your dry ingredients, and one bowl, you're going to have your wet ingredients. So we're going to start.
And that's great for singers on the road when you're traveling and when you're staying in residences and places where you've got 3 plates and 2 forks.
Yeah,
and,
so
right?
it's nothing fancy. You're just going to whip the egg with the sugar till it gets kind of,
pretty. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
until it gets kind of, it gets kind of light and a light yellowy color. Then in the meantime, you've melted 250 grams of butter. Is about 8 ounces. It's about a cup. It sounds like a lot, but it's a cookie.
I was about
Believe
to say,
me.
when Stephanie sent us the recipe, I was like, holy moly.
Something must
Because
be wrong.
she has a restaurant. So she's cooking for, I don't know how many people per night. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're
Yeah, no. Actually, this just makes one little dessert. I forgot to put this in the recipe, but I add a little bit of vanilla, or if you want to add maybe some almond flavoring, that would be good too. So about a teaspoon of vanilla.
Well, I'm allergic to almonds.
Oh,
that's right.
Cashews today, right?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I even like cashews more than I like almonds. I think I'm going to try it.
Because they're better.
Okay, so now we've kind of mixed together our wet ingredients. Now we're going to come over here and combine our dry ingredients. And so we have our 1 1/3 cup of flour, about a 1/2 cup of coarse cornmeal. This is what we use to make polenta. And actually it's very popular in Veneto, in that region. And about a cup of almonds that I've chopped. Now, I would strongly suggest that when you chop your nuts, whether it's cashews or almonds, that you do it by hand. Don't be tempted to put it in the Cuisinart because it cuts it too fine. You want, big chunks, something that you can sink your teeth into. Oops, sorry. So basically what you're going to do is just mix all. Oh, I forgot. We have a pinch of salt, because you know what salt does. In most cake recipes, you always have a pinch of salt because the salt brings out the sweetness, believe it or not, in a dessert. So now that we've mixed that, we're going to gradually, probably about 3 times, we're going to gradually add the dry ingredients into your egg and butter mixture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. That's it. We're done. So you're going to mix it all together. By the way, I took out about 10 or 15 almonds before I cut them. So I'm going to put those on top. Let's switch over to a nice big spoon.
We are so fortunate to have you here with us today to give us this masterclass.
Oh, well.
And to learn more about the restaurant and everything that you have. I mean, it's just a wealth of information, Chris. Thank you so much.
Well, you know what I've learned especially in these last 27 weeks, that the culinary history of Italy is extremely important to me. I'm passionate about it. And I'm so sorry to see beautiful restaurants closing in Italy too, and that maybe some of these recipes might be lost. It's very disturbing for me, and I think I've become even more passionate. So this is what it looks like. It looks like just like crumbly cookie dough, right?
What's yours like, Symone?
So that's it.
I don't know if you can-
Mine did look like that. I've taken mine out. I was very surprised to see how quickly it all came together.
Yeah,
You know,
very,
like
very fast.
Yeah, I was following the recipe and I thought I was way behind, but the next minute it was in the oven.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's a
Love
good
that.
thing when you're having a party, because this actually, when I show you how we serve it, you'll see why. So
Yeah.
basically, you're just going to take the dough and you're just going to throw it in the pan like this,
Wow.
like in chunks.
The kids would love doing
Yeah, you don't worry about it. Just cover your pan like this. Just pinch
That's
off
easy. That's
chunks.
terrific. Wow.
And it cooks in 30 minutes in an oven of about 350 degrees.
Symone, you're going to have a party to invite
I
people
know.
to eat this. What are you going to do now?
We're young
What
artists.
about the other singers that are there?
We have the other singers and we're all in our pod. So I'm going to take all this stuff back over and we're going to have a party.
Oh,
So what's really fun about this, besides it's really easy and fun to make, is how you serve it. Because in Verona, this is kind of your traditional dessert that you would serve when you have guests at home, or for any reason actually. So you see, that's
that
it.
was so easy.
That's it. So I've taken, like I said, a few of these almonds and just sprinkle them on the top, and put them in this in the oven for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, and there you
30
have it.
minutes.
But
And
the
this
fun
is what
part
it
about
looks like when it comes out. I'm going to just put this in the
The
oven.
fun part about it is what you do, how you serve it. Maybe Chef Chris wants to tell us about how you do that.
Well,
If one of the kids to come over to do that. Matt would love to do that.
If we have time, I wanted to talk to you about another wine.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
We're going to run a little bit over today, but it's a special day.
I'm sorry
So-
you can't taste it because it's really good. It's really good.
And that's served with grappa too, right?
Yes. So
Well, we
the
won't
way,
do that.
so the way it's traditionally served, and this is optional, is you take this plate and you put it down in the middle of the table with a sprinkling of grappa.
Okay.
Actually, you're supposed to put it on the table. You want to come and try, Max? Come on. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you're just going to go in with your fist and go like
Did you
that.
wash your hands? Well, wash your hands.
Okay.
Or put on your gloves.
Or something like
Right.
that.
And
Very
so
good.
maybe this is not the kind, maybe you're not going to do this in the time of COVID, because basically you put it in the middle of the table and everybody then takes pieces of it off the table. It's a fun thing to do with a group of people. But what I wanted to show with this dessert is an amarone from Allegrini. And the Amarone of Allegrini, they say, is the gold standard. This is a wine that is, if you do yourself a favor, if you've never had Amarone, you need to taste it. It's very unique because these vineyards are grown on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they start to harvest, they start at the bottom, and because it takes a couple of weeks to harvest, and they work their way up. But what they do is they take the grapes. So they harvest about this time, actually, probably this week is when they're harvesting the Amarone. They lay it on stoie, they call them in Italian. Isn't that fun? I can't think of the English word. On grapes, okay? And then they let them dry. So they become almost raisin-like, and they don't squeeze the grapes until around December 1st. So it's a good 6 weeks that they're laying out in the sun and drying. And what that does is it intensifies the sugar and the alcohol. So this...
Need another glass?
Okay, Robert, you need to taste this too. So what's different, this is a very full, it's almost raisin-like. Unlike the Antinori wines prides themselves on being wines that you would drink with food, whereas the Amarone is not that easy to pair food with because it's just such a sensational wine by itself. That's why I think, and it has a little bit of sweetness, that this is the wine that I would serve with the Sbrisolona, they call it. Sbrisolona.
Sbrisolona. I'm going to drink this to the great Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and to all that she's given us and to the world.
Salute.
Salute. Salute. Oh, that
Isn't that something?
is my favorite. That's
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay, Max.
No? Yeah.
So wait,
Okay,
how do you
hold on.
do this, Chef?
I don't know.
How does he do it?
I don't know how strong you are.
He's
So
super strong.
all right, well, just like,
He's
can
super
you?
strong.
Okay. And don't but yes. Try it.
All right,
Try
here we go. Here we go.
All right.
All right, hang on.
Well, someone cut me off.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. There
we
you go. So
Very good.
it's just in little pieces like this, and we like crumbs. That's Brisolona.
Brisolona.
Brisolona, briciolare in Italian means crumbs, to crumb, briciolare. So there you
How
go.
sure is Miss Symone?
It's not gonna make it back to the group, I don't think. I've been like over here snacking on it.
I know, it's
gonna
like
make it to the party.
it's like a
Because
big
it's so
army
easy
food.
to just like break off and like it's,
Mhm.
I love it.
That's like
Oh, I wish I could taste yours with the cashews,
I
Symone.
think it's better.
And the wine with that
Right.
is just
Definitely better than
And a lot of times it's hard to find the right wine to serve with desserts.
that is gorgeous. All right.
All right.
Delicious.
Good.
Bravo.
We'll
to
take-
RBG, DeAndre, to RBG, absolutely, to RBG. We will miss her courage, her strength, her warrior spirit. We will miss her gentleness, her brilliance, her devotion to the rule of law, her great humanity, and her enthusiasm for life. Ella Willer Wilcox, who was the poet from the song Sunset, the second song that I sang, said, "Love lights more fires than hate extinguishes."
Oh.
So it's up to us. We must illuminate the path for good and love, and we must demonstrate that through the power of love, forgiveness, and prayer, and honest truth-telling, that we can rise above that which separates us from each other and from our own true selves. Love is not what we want. Love is what we must be. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg remains a beacon of hope, strength, and possibilities. Let's carry her in us and lift her up by continuing with the moral principles and the ideals that define her. Fight for the things that you care about. This is to the great Ruth Bader Ginsburg, whom we love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week in the kitchen, all the way from Italy, will be the Italian stage director, Mario Corradi. There's an Italian theme going on here, Chef Chris.
The best food and wine.
Chef Chris, thank you for this masterclass today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. It's been such a joy just reconnecting with you and learning about all these wonderful foods. My beautiful Symone, you sang great. You're doing
Wow.
great. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you're there working and you're out there every day, bringing light to people and bringing joy with your gorgeous voice. I love you so much, and I'm just enormously proud of who you are. All right.
Thank you for having me.
This beautiful
Salute.
Symone. Salute. Make time in your everyday to give something beautiful for yourself. I'm Denyce. Thank you for watching. Here's to RBG, and here's to life. Mmm. Mmm.